Beauty, of course, is a subjective concept. What is admired by some people is sometimes not surprising to others. However, the history of mankind knows many examples when beautiful people became the standard for the vast majority of contemporaries. These impeccable beauties who have earned their charisma and charm the title of the most attractive men of the era. So, the sexiest men of all time. Mel Gibson. Officially, the status of sex symbol Mel Gibson received in 1985, leading the first rating of male attractiveness in People magazine. Then the blue-eyed Australian was 20 years old, but has already managed to outspnanya in a dozen good blockbusters and, accordingly, Dern fame brutal handsome. Marlon Brando. One of the brightest heroes of his time was Marlon Brando. Legendary actor of the XX century, was doomed to become an object of adoration of women. He had an unconditional external beauty and boundless charm and strong-willed character. He went crazy about him and girls and men, and he in return generously bestowed them with attention, thus fueling rumors of his bisexuality. As a result of incredibly turbulent personal life of the actor was born 11 children. Beckham or Pitt never dreamed of such a thing. Cary Grant. The main gentleman of Hollywood. Cary Grant on the screen was the embodiment of masculinity, elegance, charm, and irresistible sex appeal. He created the image of a playboy in the pictures of the 30s long before the word itself entered into use. No wonder it was Grant who became the prototype of the legendary special agent James Bond. Robert Redford. Before Brad Pitt ascended to the Hollywood firmament, the laurels of the sexiest man in the world belonged to Robert Redford. In the 70s and 80s, the actor basked in the glory and enjoyed the mass adoration of female fans who followed him around. And after the release in the 90s picture Indecent Proposal, in the millions of women just blurred the mind, and Radford collapsed an unprecedented number of those very proposals from wealthy ladies. In the case of refusal of the same ardent ladies threatened to ruin the career of the actor. Oh, and hard life playboy Paul Newman. The owner of Fatal Blue Eyes. Paul Newman has always been incredibly photogenic from the very beginning of his public career. He had everything to become a superstar and get into ratings such as the sexiest men in the world. Beauty, male charm, talent, kindness. The actor was a famous philanthropist. At his feet were ready to fall millions of women, but he was faithful to one single life, actress and wife Joan Woodward. Elaine Dillon. Here comments are superfluous. The very name of this French actor has become synonymous with male beauty. At the mere mention of him, women came to the sacred awe. Before, the magnetic charm of the actor could not resist, and partners on the set, among which were the first world beauties Claudia Cardinali, Romy Schneider, or Nella Muti, Monica Bellucci, and many others. The dramatic love story of Elaine Dillon with Romy Schneider became fatal for the actress. The breakup with a sexy man Romy experienced very painfully, to say the least. Until the end of his days, Schneider could not recover from these sufferings. Timothy Dalton rose of the sexiest man. Actor Birmingham Theatre. Timothy Dalton joined the ranks of the sexiest men in the 80s after the release of the BBC series Jane Eyre, where the stately English beauty, of course, played a major role. Subsequently, he became James Bond No. 4, then conquered even more ladies' hearts. Vanessa Redgrave herself did not resist the charm of a searing brunette with her Dalton had a serious romance that lasted 10 years. Richard Gere. After the release of the famous Pretty Woman, Richard Gere regularly topped lists of the sexiest men. During the same period, the actor was married to supermodel Cindy Crawford, and it was this couple that Hollywood officially recognized as the most beautiful couple of the 90s. George Clooney. Like a suit from Chanel, never goes out of style. Very accurately noted the heroine of the famous TV series Carrie Bradshaw. One decade succeeds another, and Clooney is still listed in the ratings of sexuality along with young handsome men. It seems that time has no power over this man over the years. His magnetism and charm only multiplied. For just one characteristic look, seductive brown eyes, ladies are ready to sell their souls to the evil one. Romans and Don Juan's list of sex symbol is not countless. But settle-down Clooney forced only one Amal Alamuddin. That's really gray hair in his beard, a piss in his rib. Brad Pitt, a caring father and head of the family. It is now common to talk about Brad Pitt in this way. And in the old days, the actor was considered the main conqueror of women's hearts. The status of Hollywood sex symbol was secured for Pitt in 1995. He was at the height of beauty, fame, and literally bathed in audience love. Then the same magazine empire included the actor in the list of the 25 sexiest stars in the history of cinema, and this title the actor deservedly wears almost 30 years, continuing to confirm it from year to year. The lucky ladies who were his ladies of the heart before Angelina Jolie. There were many Juliette Lewis, Gwyneth Paltrow, and ex-spouse Jennifer Aniston, paired with whom Pitt drove millions of fans crazy with interest watching the perfect life of the ideal couple. Jude Law as a child. Jude Law had enough of his classmates because of his smarmy appearance he even had to change schools. Years later, handsome Alfie turned into the most desirable man on the planet, becoming the British Elaine Dillon. Ryan Gosling has held the sex symbol title for the past few years. He is neither canonically handsome nor brutal, but according to polls, it is this lanky blonde with an ironic squint that most girls would like to have as a lover. The adoration of women Gosling provided not the reputation of Don Juan and not steel biceps, but rather a sense of humor, a special masculine energy, and undoubtedly the image of a dream man, created in the diary of a memory. Leonardo DiCaprio, an inexorable ladies' man. Connoisseur of female beauty, Leonardo DiCaprio from his youth heard handsome. At first, the smarmy appearance even prevented the actor to get serious dramatic roles. But with the release of the epical Titanic, everything changed. DiCaprio became the most recognizable face on the planet and the object of adoration of the female half of its population. Johnny Depp, the most famous movie pirate. In the world, Johnny Depp with such external data could easily owe his life to play heroes' lovers. However, Depp preferred the image of an eccentric both on the screen and in life. But no matter how good Johnny tried to hide the appearance of charming, handsome man behind vintage hats, worn pants, amulets, and other hippie paraphernalia, girls continue to sigh dreamily looking at his photos. Robert Pattinson has melted women's hearts the proven way by playing in a fantasy about vampire love. So the pale-skinned, lanky British man with a mop of tangled hair overnight became not just a favorite of women, but also a new standard of male beauty.